What is up, people? Dunna here, and today I'm feeling particularly inspired. The weather has been really nice here in Edmonton. We're finally out of winter. It's finally nice weather season, so I just want to shoot photos. Now, over the past little while, I've been growing my Instagram, and a lot of people are asking questions about what my process is for shooting photos and editing them and getting them up on Instagram. But a lot of people for Instagram don't want to have to edit photos in their computer, or maybe they're just going for stories and they just want to capture the moment, but they want that nice high quality. Basically, what we're going to talk about today is the process that I go through to take photos on my nice cameras and get the photos into my phone, edit on my phone, and post straight to Instagram, whether that be Instagram stories or on the timeline. Professional quality, same as comes out of the camera, but without ever having to like put it in your computer, do the edit on there, export it again, get it over to your phone, that whole process. We're going to skip straight from the camera to the phone, get the edit done and up. But step number one, as is pretty obvious, we need to go get some photos. So we're gonna head across the street. There's a park and a skate park over there. We're just about to hit sunset, so I'm gonna see what I can get. It was raining earlier, then the sun came out. Now it's getting a little cloudy again, so we'll see what we can get. Let's do it. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Dunna, why, if you have the option to edit on a full computer in Lightroom or Photoshop, why would you ever choose to edit something up on your phone so that you could post it? And I'm sure to some of you this might seem obvious, but maybe to others it's not. But we live in the world of now. And what I mean by that is everything needs to get posted now. Everyone wants to see what's happening now. The whole thing with Snapchat and Instagram stories is that everyone wants to see what's happening in your life right now. This is probably very unsafe to be vlogging while I'm crossing the street. I'm gonna get hit by a car. So let's say you're at an event, you're at a concert, and something's happening and you snap a great picture of it. But there are also like 400 other people there snapping the same picture of the same thing happening. If you wanna stand out amongst the crowd, you wanna be the first one to get that up. If you wanna get noticed on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or wherever it happens to be, you wanna make sure that you're the first person to have that, so that when people go searching for it, you're the first person that they find. Now, the other side to this is not just the fact that you want to get up on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is first, it's also the fact, the convenience of these supercomputers that we carry in our pockets. When I edit on Lightroom on my MacBook, it's a very similar process to when I edit on Lightroom Mobile on my phone. I have 90% of the same controls. Usually I can get pretty much the same product, and with one little trick that I'm going to show you a little later, I can actually edit raw photos, not just JPEGs on my phone. So I have such amazing control, all with this little guy in my pocket. So sometimes even if I have the option to edit on my laptop, I'll still choose to do it on my phone anyway, because it's just so convenient and it's just right there. I can post it really easy. You can't post to Instagram from a desktop right now. I know there are some workarounds to that, but you can't post to stories as far as I'm aware, so it's just easier to have it right there on your phone sometimes. I just pulled up to the skate park. The light is not amazing, but we are getting a little bit of kind of cool sunset stuff, so I'm gonna try and get some photos. I'm gonna ask some guys to do some tricks for me or pose a little bit, and we'll see what we can get. Sweet, man. Thank you. So the skate park was a little quiet and the sunset is trying to do something cool, but it's not quite getting there. I did manage to get a couple of guys to help me out, found a kind of a cool portrait pose. So I got some cool shots. I'm ready to edit them. The original plan was actually to do the edit out here to prove that you could do this anywhere, but my hands are starting to freeze a little bit. It's getting a little bit chilly out here. So let's actually head back to my place. I'll show you guys how I get the photos from the camera to the phone and make those edits and post it. Let's go. I don't know if you can see that in the background, but the sunset is trying so hard to be a cool sunset, but the clouds are just kind of getting in the way of everything. And sometimes the clouds can kind of make it even cooler, but just struggling with it tonight. So like I mentioned earlier, if you're a pixel peeper and you're really concerned about keeping the raw files from your camera and making sure that you get to edit with that, there is a way to do it. With that being said, there are two ways that I transfer files from my camera to my phone. The first way being that I shoot Sony, and I know that a lot of other camera manufacturers have this built in as well, is using the software that's built into the camera that allows you to send pictures over Wi-Fi. So in this specific case, with my Sony cameras, it's something called Play Memories, and it's fairly simple to set up. Your camera creates its own little Wi-Fi network. You send the password or you scan in the password onto your phone, and then when you're scrolling through photos on your camera, you can choose to send whichever one you want over to your phone. Now, one of the things to keep in mind when you do it this way is that you're only getting a JPEG image sent over to your phone. But to be completely honest, I don't really worry about it most of the time. If it's going up to Instagram, having the raw image, unless it's in really specific circumstances, isn't super important. Okay, quick question for you guys. Can you tell which desk is mine and which one is Megan's? So hopefully it's fairly obvious that my desk is the clean one and not the one with photography and tech stuff all over it. So we're gonna hang out over here and I'm gonna show you guys how I get the photos from my camera to my phone. So first and foremost, there is a bit of a setup process. I'm not gonna go through the whole process. I'll leave a link in the description that explains exactly what that whole process is, but it's fairly easy. I'm sure you guys can figure it out on your own. But once you do have it set up so that your camera is ready to send to your phone, what you're gonna need to do is go through the photos on your camera, decide which ones you want, go to one of those photos, you're gonna hit menu and you're gonna find send to smartphone. Now this is a little bit different depending on which camera you have. Even within the Sony world, like on my a6000 and my a6500, it's in a different menu. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of digging. I noticed that by default, if you're actually on a photo in playback mode and you hit the function button, it's actually gonna take you directly to send to smartphone. Now at this point, you can choose this image, all images on device, or multiple images. So in this case, I wanna choose multiple images, and then I'm gonna scroll through and I'm gonna pick which photos I want and just put a little check mark on them. Once I'm done that, I hit the menu button and it's gonna start to try and send. Now it's gonna bring up something that says that it's trying to connect to a smartphone. This is the point where you gotta bring out your phone, you're gonna connect to the wireless network that you already set up between the two, and then you're gonna open the Play Memories app from Sony. Now, like I mentioned before, Sony's not the only camera manufacturer doing this, so if you're on Canon or Nikon or whatever, you might just have to figure out what the connection is between the two. Once I go into the Play Memories app, it'll say that it's sending, I'll see that they're sent over, and now they're just in my camera roll. So in my case, I'm gonna bring up Lightroom Mobile, which is my editing app of choice, but you can use whatever editing app you prefer on your phone, whether that be Darkroom or Snapseed, any of those kinds of things. In my case, I'm using Lightroom Mobile because that's what I'm used to. So I'm gonna make a couple of edits. I'm gonna choose to export to my camera roll. And then I think at this point, you pretty much know what to do. Post it on Instagram and just watch those likes roll in. Now, for the control freaks who want just a little bit of extra room in the editing process, I'm gonna show you my secret on how you can actually get raw photos from your camera into your phone and edit them in there. Now, only some of the apps, I know Lightroom, for example, will allow you to do this. You can actually edit raw photos in. Not all apps are gonna allow you to do that. But if that is something you want to try and do, you're going to need something like this. Now what this is, and this specific one is called the iDragon, but it's an SD card reader with USB on one end, the smaller USB, I don't remember if it's micro or mini, and it's got a lightning connector on the other end so I can connect it to the good old iPhone. It comes with a piece of software that allows you to transfer files from an SD card to your iPhone. This is gonna let you put those raw files into Lightroom Mobile, and then you can edit them from there. I'll leave a link for this in the description if it's something that you're interested in. The other really cool thing about this is that you can actually transfer video files from the Sony cameras into your phone so you can edit video directly on your phone. Full quality, everything. This is like a little secret weapon, and it's not that expensive, so I'll leave a link for that in the description, as well as links to all my other gear, so make sure to check that out. I want to say a big thank you to the guys at the skate park who helped me out. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to see these photos when they go up. Handle is @DunnaDidIt. If you want to tell YouTube to share this video around, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really does help. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything by clicking on the little circle icon. Watch this next video. I feel like you're really gonna love it, and I'll see you guys next time.